Hey, and welcome to Smoky Ribs. I'm going to be doing my entry into Ballistic BBQ's Video Grilling Contest 2013. The sandwich that I'm putting together here today is of local ingredients. I gave it a lot of thought and I come up with a lot of ideas, but I had to bring it back to my own roots. The Gulf of Mexico produces some of the best seafood in the world, and of which I've got some very fresh shrimp and crab meat together today. Blackened shrimp and crab po' boy. Alright, let's get started. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get a few things out of the way that can be done in advance. I'm going to be making a smoked onion mayo to go on this po' boy. So we're going to start by adding one teaspoon of sugar and salt. We're just simply going to mix that all around. What I have in here is two yellow onions that I julienned. And we're going to mix that in good. Now we're going to place this on these perforated trays, and from here it's going into the smoker. The wood chips I'm using is pecan. That is also native of our region, and I'm trying to keep all the flavors matching somewhat. I guess the only thing that will be on this sandwich that's not necessarily native of here would be avocado, a blackened avocado that will come later. But I know it's going to really complement the flavors of this sandwich. Okay, that's good. We're going to let this smoke on a real heavy smoke for around 30 minutes. This is what you're looking for. The onions have a nice brown color on them. That's the smoke that's gotten to them. So they're going to be nice and smoky. Now what we're going to do is simply, I'm going to transfer these over into a skillet. The skillet has about a tablespoon of olive oil, and all we're going to do is let these continue to cook and caramelize until they get a real dark caramel color on them. It's going to take a little while for this pot to get up to heat, so we'll be checking back every few minutes and see how we're doing. Alright, these onions are nice and caramelized just like I want them. What I'm going to do from this point is go ahead and take them off the heat. I'm going to bring them inside and let them cool off, and from there we're going to make the smoked onion mayo. Okay, we're getting ready to make this smoked onion mayo. This is going to be some really fantastic stuff, I can tell already. Alright, got a few escapees here. Alright, first thing you want to do is figure out how the lid goes on. There we go. Alright, we're going to puree this a little bit. Alright, now you want to add in about 2.5 cups of real mayo, and I'm using Blue Plate mayonnaise. That is also something that is used in these parts. About half of this container of sour cream, about a good 4 ounces of it. Put in a half a teaspoon of hot sauce. I'm using Crystal hot sauce. That is a Louisiana hot sauce. All right, I've got a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And I've also got a half a teaspoon of coriander, ground coriander seed. That's it. We're going to put this back on, blend this all together. I think we're good and blended here. Now all we got to do is I'm going to scrape this into a container. I'm going to refrigerate until I'm going to go ahead and put this blackening seasoning together. I do have blackening seasoning available to me around here, Paul Perdon being one of my favorites. But I'm going to go ahead and make my own today, mainly just to show you how easy it is to come up with similar results. So I started with 2 teaspoons of cayenne pepper that's already in here. You can adjust that if you don't like it quite as spicy. In actuality, by the time you add all these other ingredients and do the cooking, it's not hot at all. It's not spicy. It just adds a nice flavor. All right, now we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of paprika. All right, we're going to go with 5 teaspoons of salt. 5 teaspoons of salt. All right, now we got 2 teaspoons of onion powder. And that's garlic, onion here. And we got 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. All right, we're going to have 1.5 teaspoons of white pepper. We got 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper. Now we have 1 whole teaspoon of dried thyme. And we have 1 whole teaspoon of oregano. Alright, I'm going to mix that in very good. And this is what we're going to blacken our shrimp with. And we're also going to do a little trick on the avocado a little later. I'll show you that when the time comes. This is probably the best way to mix this up. Just do a little back and forth here. Just keep doing that till you get a real good mix on it. Smoked mayo all put together, so we're going to go ahead and heat this same skillet back up. I've got 1 tablespoon of olive oil in here. We're going to go ahead and do the vegetables for the crab cakes. Okay, we got the Cajun Trinity going in here, the Holy Trinity. This is onion, bell pepper, and some celery. It's probably about a half an onion, half a bell pepper, and maybe 1 stalk of celery. Just going to saute these. This skillet's not quite up to heat, but it will be here momentarily. I'm just going to cook these until they're getting a little translucent, the onions, and going to go from there. Right now I'm going to go inside and get some salt and pepper and go ahead and season these up a little bit like I always do. Just about where I want them. I'm going to go ahead and add in 1 clove of garlic. Let this go about another minute. Just want that garlic to release its flavors. Don't want to even get close to scorching or burning it. That will take on a whole nother bitter flavor all to its own, so you want to avoid that at all costs. Alright, what we're going to do now is go ahead and mix up everything to make our crab cakes with. This is 1 pound of fresh crab meat. This comes right out of the Gulf of Mexico. This is not the kind that you buy that's been pasteurized. Yes, it has been cooked only so they could peel it. This is only like a day or 2 old, then put into refrigeration immediately afterwards. This is as fresh as you're going to get unless you go catch them yourself. Alright, now into that we're going to take the Trinity, the onions, bell pepper, and celery, and we're going to dump that in there. Also got some garlic in there. Can't forget the garlic. Gotta have garlic. Right now, Old Bay seasoning. Something about Old Bay and crab just goes really good together. This is not hot, not spicy, but it gives a really nice flavor. This crab is just cooked in boiling water. Had no seasonings added to it, so this is going to season the crab. We'll mix that all in. Tell you what, I'm not going to be shy. I'm going to put a little bit more Old Bay in there. Just a little bit. Oh yeah. That's smelling good. It's not even cooking. Alright, you don't want to tear that meat up so much, too much, so be kind of gentle with it. Alright, now into that you want to take 1 egg, crack 1 egg into it, and some plain breadcrumbs. This is definitely a hand thing. You just gotta use your hands, get in there, get a little dirty, put it all together. We're gonna go in with a little bit more breadcrumb. Alright, now what we're gonna do after I get all this mixed in good is simply make some patties out of this. And from there, we're going to go back out on the grill and we're going to make crab cakes. We're going to brown each side really good. It's going to have a nice crunch to it. All that crab flavor is going to be enhanced by this Trinity and that Old Bay. And the flavor is just unreal. Alright, I got some really nice Gulf shrimp here, and I'm getting ready to peel these and to vein these and get these ready for the grill also. Just to give you some idea the size of these, this is my hand, and as you can see it's about the length. Well, actually it's way beyond my hand, all the way into my wrist here. That's just average size there. Nice shrimp, nice Gulf shrimp. These are white shrimp. Gonna be fantastic. Alright, I think our grease is good and hot here, ready to go. Let's put these crab patties in here. Alright, we're getting ready to make some blackened shrimp. And the first thing we got to do is take a stick of unsalted butter. And if you remember back when I was making all the blackening seasoning, then you know that I did it to exact measures. So you don't want salted butter to mess that up. You want unsalted butter. It heat up, get melted, and we're going to go from there. Basically, all we're going to do is take the shrimp, we're going to dip them in this melted butter. Then from there, we're going to coat them in this blackening seasoning. Coat them really good, just like that. Alright, here we go. This is how you blacken shrimp, people. You hear that sizzle? These will only take about 2 minutes on each side. Won't take long. Oh my goodness. You ought to smell this. I'm right over the top of it and it is unreal. Our shrimp are blackened. It's time to pull these puppies off. I've got the crab cakes in my oven inside, keeping them at 170 degrees, just enough to keep them hot without cooking them. And these will join them here momentarily, because we got more things to do. And we're going to take a spoon and get the avocado out of the shell, just like that. Okay, you take your avocados and basically do them the same way we did the shrimp, but this time instead of butter I have oil. Now all I'm going to do is char these a little bit on each side. When I first started thinking about this video, I thought about making my own French bread, but you know what? You just can't beat something that's been going on for over 200 years. This is New Orleans original French bread, right out of New Orleans, and so we're going to be putting this together on this rising poor boy bread. Sandwiched together, we're going to take some of this smoked onion mayo, layer it on the bottom, shredded lettuce, I'll lay it with some tomato. I'm not going to salt and pepper the lettuce or tomato, and the only reason being there's plenty of salt and other seasonings going on with the other ingredients, and I don't want to overpower it, so this is just fine the way it is. I'm going to lay on a crab cake here. Crab cake here. Here's a little bitty filler. We're going to put that right there. Alright, now we're going to put on some of these blackened shrimp. Let's see if we can get one more on there. At this point, I would like to see some more of this mayo go on. Now, some of the avocado. I don't know what you're thinking at home, but I know what I'm thinking. This looks good.